Hello, welcome to Western Montana Views. I'm Ryan.
I'm Lee. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Doing again the two camera setup.
Yeah. Um, Today it's Montana Appreciation Day.
Yay!
And
This is why we love Montana.
Ryan and I are going to talk about why we like living in Montana. So, you want to introduce this here first item?
Let's see, elbow room. Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's nice to have for any number of ideas or events. I mean, you're able to do basically anything. You know, we were able to play basically baseball in our backyard. You know, that's elbow room.
Yeah. Most people can find
That always blew me away as a kid. Yeah.
to play baseball in our backyard.
Yeah, and I sucked, obviously, but but still, to be able to play like t-ball or something, you know, right there, you know.
For homeowners, that had a yard, typically their yards were big enough that they could play
At least t-ball, just to hit it off.
at least
the thing.
t-ball.
Yeah, or underhanded, you know. If you're anywhere past 8, 9, 10 years old, you're probably in the park. But
Right.
no, but like for like little kids though, that's what's cool is you have an expansive backyard. There's a lot of opportunities there.
We used to have a rule that, and he's remembering back when he was quite younger. So of course our yard was much bigger because you were so much smaller.
True.
But the rule was, if you hit the ball over the fence,
Yep.
what was it?
Gotta go get it.
No, it was an automatic out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because you had kids that were better than other kids, and they could, they knew they could put it over the fence.
Oh, for sure.
And once we started that rule, is you put it over the fence, you're out. It's
Yeah.
like, no, man, I get to be the hero. It's like,
Right.
no, you're the goat.
Right.
You're not only going to retrieve the ball, you're going to sit down. So, no,
But that went to other games too though. We did do like football in the yard and like dodgeball and like, you know, laser tag and other things, water guns, you know, whatever else, you know.
Sure. And to the homeowner, who the property around homes in Montana typically have a lot of run room, what we call elbow room. But even for the people who rent, Montana is rich with their own city parks
Right. Yeah.
or national forest parks.
Big time.
I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't take much as a renter. You're a kid. Your folks rent.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to play baseball. You
Sure.
get your friends. You walk.
You go to the park.
You
Yeah.
get on your bikes. You go to the park and you have a safe game,
Yeah.
and you safely come home.
Sure.
And it's easy to get the elbow room. You don't feel so confined because you live in a major metropolitan area like in other states, other big cities in other
Sure.
states. I mean, we love those cities to go and visit to
Sure.
because they're the big city, the big skylight. Ooh,
And sometimes you can't find anywhere else for like museums or zoos
Culture?
or culture or art or big time movies or any food that isn't made by a white guy or any, you know what I mean? Like it's, you know,
yeah, for what
any variety, you know.
what most people would consider culture, the theaters,
And
the
I think you could
museums. No, we don't have a lot.
No, not a lot. I'm not going to say we have a lot, but I will say there is some in some areas like Missoula and Bozeman. Some of the culture centers, basically.
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
So if you want to find your entertainment, there are the denser areas of
Right.
Montana, but once you're out of that area, though, it is just broad, expansive. There's, room everywhere.
Right. Well, I like that elbow room in that I feel that I'm offset, and I don't mean that well, maybe I do mean that I enjoy my white privilege. This is Montana. 99.9% of the people who live here are white. Okay, that's a real high percentage.
Yeah, it's probably like 90, and the other 9% are probably Native American,
Yeah.
9 to 11, and then 1% everyone else. But that's truly how it breaks down, though,
Sure.
in Montana. So you say you appreciate that in that way, or
No,
That-
what I'm saying is I accept our population makeup,
Sure.
and I do enjoy having space. I mean, this is
Yeah.
my third house.
Yeah.
I rented for years and years. We rented when you and your brother were way small
Sure.
until we could afford our first house. And as we aged and our tax bracket went up, and we were able to sell that house and invest in another house and do the same and do the same, I'm on my third house. It makes sense that if I am a big fan of elbow room, I'm going to
Sure.
get a house right in the middle of 1 acre. I'm
Yeah.
not going to apologize for that.
No.
This is Montana. This is what white guys do in Montana.
They get land, they do what they want with it, basically.
But even in addition to I'm a little offset from the road and people leave me alone, I also have the capability of keeping an eye on my neighbor's property while they are away from home.
Sure,
Camping on the weekend, away for a long trip. I mean,
most people want the same things, basically, in Montana. Most people just, truly want to be kept to their own devices, they want to, do the things they want to do themselves without getting hassled.
Right. Well, it's an appreciation for the space that the residents enjoy in Montana. If you don't want to see anyone for the weekend, that's easy. You get in your car, you go to a trailhead, you go up the mountain, and it's possible not to see a soul for the entire weekend.
Or a cell bar at that, even at that. So if you really want to, get lost in the woods, you truly can get lost in the woods.
You don't
in
have
Montana.
to be around people if you don't want to.
True.
There are times where people, all of us included, give each other the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
And you need a little bit of elbow room. So, I'm liking my elbow room. Let's move on. Topography.
Oh, you can't beat it.
Sightseeing.
You can't beat it. Like, there's a picture every view you go, basically, almost in Montana, even in eastern Montana too, but that, that's a little different than western Montana as
Depends
far
on
as
where
the
you were
mountains.
brought up.
But it totally does depend where you brought up, so I don't want to crap at anyone from eastern Montana,
No.
But I'm just saying that you get different. You get such vast differences of topography from like the Badlands in the east, that are rolling hills kind of, to just these grand Rocky Mountains that,
that rival the Alps.
Yeah.
They do rival the Alps. The mountains around Livingston, the mountains of
Bitterroot Mountains.
the Bitterroot Mountains, Glacier Mountains, Beartooth Highway.
Yep.
They really do rival the Alps.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, they do. And I always kind of thought it was pretty cool about California. They say, oh, you could ski in the morning and you could be at the beach in the
Sure,
afternoon.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty damn cool.
That's actually kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But in Montana, you got the mountains in the west.
Right.
But you can get to the Badlands, like you say. It's just, you're not going to do it in the same day.
No.
No. And you wouldn't want to race your car from the mountains to the Badlands because look at all the scenery you'd be.
I mean, Montana's so wide it takes up a whole time zone. I mean,
yeah.
think about that.
That's
how wide it is.
It takes a full day of nonstop driving to get from one side to the other.
Uh-huh.
It just does. And it's not fun if you try to do that.
If you try to do it in one day,
that means that you eat, pee, and refuel all in one place and back in the car and shut up.
If you're just driving straight through, you're going to be in Montana a while.
I got a little musical tip here for you. If you have your kids in the car and they're young, say the age of 8 or less, and you want them to go to sleep, we used to play Tracy Chapman. And it would put my kids to sleep by the third song.
Okay.
So
I didn't know he was going with that.
No, I didn't know I was going to go with that. I'm just saying it's a secret weapon. So if you don't know Tracy Chapman,
Sure.
investigate. She's wonderful. and we used to love
Probably
to
did
listen
back
to her
then.
going down the road, but she could put a kid to sleep.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah. What does your note say now?
Population density, we already talked about it.
Population. Yes. So, you basically can pick it, basically, which is nice. I mean, if you really want to get in that dense urban center, you can.
We have cities.
We have cities. We have Missoula. We have Billings.
We don't. Our cities lack.
They're small cities. I'll give you that.
Our cities lack the skyscrapers, and probably huge mass transit. We do have mass transit within our cities in the form of buses. We don't have trains.
No,
we
no
don't have
trains.
cable cars.
We do have Amtrak up north, but I think even that got canceled or is soon to be canceled.
Yeah, they need to bring back that Southern line.
That Southern line, yeah. So what we're talking about is there is a train line that they're hoping to bring back between southern Montana all the way through. So it goes through Billings, it goes through Bozeman, it goes through Butte, it goes through Missoula.
Right.
And then it links up into like Spokane.
Yeah, we have had rail service to Montana or through Montana.
Yeah,
but
we
it's
have
taken the Highline route, which has bordered the southern border of Canada. And it deposited its passengers way north. And then you had to jump on a bus and go other places, south in Montana to visit who you wanted to visit. But if you were going to take the rail back, you had to go all the way back up there to get on the train to go the northern route.
But the problem is, like, what's the biggest city there? Like, Havre? That's on that line. Like, what's the biggest city,
Right.
in Montana, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to knock Havre, but it's like, it's definitely missing a lot of the state, not having that southern Amtrak line.
I think they debark from the train in Whitefish.
I think, there is a
They
White.
go through Havre.
Right.
They go through Havre. Okay, but the southern route, that would take you down further through Billings, Bozeman, Livingston, Butte, Anaconda, Missoula.
Right.
And then out towards Idaho.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that'd be a beautiful route.
Oh, it would be.
And what I think about the southern route is that it would be used more frequently
Oh,
than the High Line.
I would use it to actually go visit Bozeman and visit some friends instead of using up gas. I would definitely do that once in a while if I could just crash on a couch and then, take the train back and take the train forward and back. If that was possible, I would do it. But we are, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, stuck in car culture. So you have to kind of like it or get used to it or make it work for you in Montana.
I asked a friend of mine who used to live in Seattle, I said, why does everybody have such a nice car around here?
Yeah.
Because I was driving an older car. And he said, because you spend so damn much time in them. Mm-hmm. He says, chances are you're not moving either. So I have to laugh at some of the English comedians that have their tea maker in their car and their English crumpets that they make. Would you have any Grey Poupon and that sort of culture? Well, another thing that we can talk about, and we want to tread lightly here, and we don't want to offend anyone. We believe...
I was going to say, are we doing Eisenberg tread lightly, or are we doing regular tread lightly?
We're going to do tread lightly.
Regular tread lightly.
Because what I want to talk about is that if you live in Montana, there's virtually no racial strife here. There's always been a persistent sort of animosity towards Native American Indians on the part of the whites.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, there's animosity on the part of the Native American Indians towards the whites.
Sure.
Okay, that's a given.
Yeah.
That's a given.
I mean, but that's the main rivalry in Montana. I mean, that truly is.
Right, and we have all agreed.
There shouldn't even be a rivalry, but in my opinion, we can get into that subject later. But that if there is one, that there is no. This is the different neighborhoods. This is this street. This street is filled with this type of people. This street was this. It's just what's weird.
We quickly learn to
Yeah.
coexist with each other.
I think we're getting better at it. I don't know if we're good at it as much, as I think you and I are fine, as far as who we've met and who we talk to, but it's just a matter of how, people are slowly but surely treating people better in a time where.
Well, I think that
Do you think it's getting better, or do you think it's getting worse? I
I
guess.
think as of late, there has not been enough progress in race relations.
True that. And there needs to be.
And I think that in the future there will be. But in the present, I believe that the cooperation between Native American tribes and the white invading hordes, we understand.
But I think there's a difference between someone that's educated that's white than someone that's white and and that white.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like cracker. We're talking cracker here,
Right.
versus someone that's educated.
I'm sure that
and I think among the educated classes, I really do think that there is some unity and not as much division. The problem is the education system, as a whole, it really does separate people into different school districts and segregates them based on the school district, basically.
Right.
And that's a nationwide problem, not just a Montana problem.
Well, I believe that we all coexist quite well. Of course, you're going to find haters. You're going to find haters on both sides. You can find haters everywhere.
You can find trouble wherever, man.
You can find. What was that term that we used the other day? You get what you get when you get here.
Something like that.
Yeah, well, if you come with a smile on your face, chances are you're going to be met with a smile on someone else's face. Mm-hmm. But the haters are going to hate.
Haters are always going to hate, though. Haters are always around. The thing that's cool about Montana is there are just less of them.
There are far less of them, and they're so easy to avoid.
Again, going back to population density, there's just so few of them.
Right, right.
I even looked up, there's a map that basically says, people vote, not land, which I agree with. But at the same time, it is kind of cool though to live in a place and you just see this little dot for your county basically that makes up, the total percentage of, whatever versus let's say, Kings County, New York, or whatever, and it's just going to be this giant blue circle basically. Mm-hmm. So it all just kind of depends. What it is, and we just have this tiny little dot, and we have a big county, so it's all spread out with that little dot. So
right. And there's things that you just have to accept about other races. You don't see a lot of members from the black community living here. Now I'm sure that
why do you think that is?
Go to Billings and see many black families, black professionals, black youth. There in Billings,
artists, professionals. I mean, you were mentioning one cast member during Yellowstone or whatever that you were costume designer or something, right?
I don't understand where you're coming from.
The extras part.
Okay, yeah.
You were mentioning that she was cool, and you were talking to her a bit, and she was a costumes designer, and. So people are here for the arts and entertainment. People are here for, various different things, if they are here, I would say.
Well, Montanans are special because...
I guess, why would someone be here, I guess, is what I'm trying to answer, Because I'm trying to make it sound like not as much honky town as what, hopefully is coming across, so...
Right, well, and Montana is... very special for their live and let live mentality. We have mentioned the haters. They're easy to avoid. They wear their hearts on the sleeve. They advertise. They're right over there. Easy to go and not be around them and not be pursued. We have a disproportionate representation of all the many races that there are on the planet here in Montana. Why is that? Not everyone wants to live here.
No, it's cold, man.
You can see movies and TV shows that feature Montana as a backdrop, and they cannot portray the temperature change between lovely summer and bitter winter. Mm-hmm. We only have 3 months of summer.
Yeah.
True warm season. And as long as you've been alive,
Hot
and as long
in
as
like
I've been
hot
alive,
in shorts, like you're truly sweating. Yeah.
and it's unpredictable. It can snow in August. It has. Check the records. It's snowed in every single month of a given year.
Yeah.
If you want to research the records,
Yeah.
you know, be at the lake and have it snow on you. It can happen.
So the inclement weather basically keeps people out.
Not everyone likes it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something you have to be accountable for, and it's there are many times where you're gonna need to put sweatshirts in cars, in the same day that you went to the beach, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. We never go in the woods without survival gear, whether it's August or whether it's in the fall during hunting season, or whether it's during the winter out snowmobiling. You must be a hardy individual, which is why I don't live in Alaska, because those
Too hardcore.
those are some hardcore hardy
No,
people.
I'll admit I wouldn't say I'm wimpy, but I would say that I'm not strong enough for Alaska. So I'm glad I'm in the lower 48.
They laugh at us down here in the
I'm
lower
sure they
48.
do.
And you know why they laugh at us? Because we can't handle that sunshine 24 hours a day concept.
No, I mean,
If you've never been to Alaska, take blinders so that you can sleep at night, because the sun shines all night long. It's disorienting.
yeah, and so there's this movie called
It'll come to you with Robin Williams.
it has Robin Williams in it,
and
yeah.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, yeah.
And Robin Williams is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but
Sorry about that.
Insomnia, the movie.
Insomnia.
That's a great movie though.
And that is-
detective movie.
That's
that
what Al
yeah.
Pacino was suffering from.
Uh-huh.
He was the detective, went to Alaska to find this killer, gonna find Robin Williams, but while he's there, the light, the constant sunshine disorients him to the point of debilitation.
Yep.
And Robin Williams just about,
Don't
Oh,
spoil everything.
well, I
but,
spoiled it all. Shoot me.
but yeah, great movie though. I just kind of like the fact that on the shortest day of the year, you still get over 8 hours of sun here. On the longest day, you get about 17 hours of sun, not
Right.
counting the twilight hours after.
Right.
But yeah,
You still have to be hardy to live in Montana. I
Yeah.
mean, it gets cold. And
It
our
does.
highways in the wintertime can be, and quite often are, deadly. Just deadly.
especially in the in-betweens, like if you're driving on the highway and you crash or something, it might be a long time before an ambulance gets to you.
Yeah, if the ambulance wants to get to you.
Exactly.
I'm an ex-ambulance driver, and when people would crash their rigs on the top of Lolo Pass,
Right.
when they shouldn't have been up there in the first place, when the weatherman said this calf-killing blizzard's coming, and they decided to go up to Jerry Johnson and stack their car,
Yeah.
they got the mean medic when I got there.
Yeah, 9 months of winter. Yeah, we have about that. There's definitely cold temperatures, for sure,
Well, if you are in Florida,
for a long time.
if you're in Florida and you are watching the TV show Yellowstone and you are inspired to pick up all your belongings and move to Montana, and
You're going to be in for a rough time.
you're going to be in for a rough
If you don't know
time.
anyone, you're going to be in for a rough time.
Right.
Yeah.
What typically happens when people are
But we kind of like that
delusional.
too. It keeps the mega populations down though.
They
So
stay-
we're nice, but we're not overly friendly. I think in Montana.
we're not overly sympathetic to the stupid.
No.
No. So if you're coming thinking that every month is a warm month, you're wrong. If you're thinking that the winters aren't as bad as you hear about, you're wrong. If you think a Dodge Ram pickup is going to keep you from being upside down in the ditch because it's got 4-wheel drive, and then drive it like an idiot,
Well, not just
you're
that.
going to end up in it upside down in the ditch.
Not just that. If you're unless you're mega rich, you're probably gonna be shoveling your own snow too.
Yep. And picking up deer shit in your front yard.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a thumper arrow.
Yeah.
A lot of deer shit out there. Anyway,
Otherwise, what else in Montana? I mean, you basically
fishing's good.
Fishing is awesome.
Fort Peck and Flathead Lake and Canyon Ferry.
Yeah.
Some notable lakes.
Even if you're not catching, even if you're not, shooting, even if you're, hunting and fishing, even just getting out in the woods is just amazing.
Right.
Right time of year.
Reconnoitering is so much fun to do, to learn the different topography of your local area. You get on top of a mountain ridge and you say, oh, that's where that drainage goes. It goes right on down to Phillipsburg.
And it's a photographer's dream. And honestly, it's a photographer's dream.
Absolutely.
You can't beat the photography in Montana. I almost dare people to beat it, and only people I think in BC can, in my opinion, can beat.
Professional photographers would say, well, that's apples and oranges. When you're in Hawaii, I mean, come on, it's beautiful.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, of course.
Okay, right. But the Montana experience, a photographer...
That's tropical versus alpine mountain,
I
totally different.
I believe that a professional photographer could have a lifetime career based in Montana.
Oh, for sure.
Shooting exclusively Montana. And I bet a lot of them do.
I bet a lot of them do, and you can
why wouldn't you?
And I truly think what I'm noticing too is you see, you've noticed this too, a whole bunch of prints on the wall with all these mountain scenescapes, whenever someone does an interview for Brian Williams or someone else,
Continue.
So my point is you could find a market to sell to the city people. I truly believe
to the city folk.
So that mountain dream.
No, it's something. That,
no, but it's true.
It's something that Ryan and I have noticed, and we giggle about it, and we empathize, and we feel sorry for. But when you see interviews on TV, especially now with COVID, typically where they're shooting from, what you can see in the background is a Montana scenic. So when you see a Montana scenic from someone speaking from New York, you know that when they're done with business for the day, they look at that scene and they wish and they wish
and they go,
wish that they could live there.
And you know what? We can understand.
We do.
We can understand.
We do. Do you think New Yorkers that move to Montana have?
I think there's some culture shock.
Pictures of skylines of skyscrapers, just so that makes them
just to have a difference of opinion. I think there could be some. Yeah, I think at least people that.
I'm sure there
are Montanans, let's say there's some nice cityscape or something, of some city they live. Let's say, I don't know, Seattle or something.
I'm sure people
from people do.
Cities still love their cities.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
While they're living in Montana.
Hometown pride,
Hometown pride. Got to represent.
Oh, I guess that could be another thing that's cool about Montana too. Is if you're into it, is they talk about Texas football or whatever. I mean, but there's also Montana football. There's also Montana sports, and it really is competitive at a small level. And it really does seem like a lot of kids can join the sports and not get in trouble. That is one cool thing about Montana. I will just throw a bone to is there's ample opportunity for sports and outdoor recreation.
There's as much opportunity here. You just got to drive a little bit to get there.
You're gonna have to drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring a reliable car.
Want to wrap up?
I do, but I want to say just a couple things in parting. Are you wearing your masks? Please wear your masks. Let's believe in the science. I'm wearing my mask. I'm still doing all the social distancing.
90 to 100,000 in the next 3 weeks, they say, are going to be dead. So these are people that have not even been infected yet, basically.
They will start showing up. So please wear your mask. Please be courteous to others. Please live and let live. And if someone isn't masked, you don't need to beat them up about it. Pretty easy to walk around them. Don't confront each other. Don't be hostile to each other. But let's believe in the...
No, but set a good example. Right. Other people will try to follow that good example. And I actually think that's what 80-90% of Montanans, regardless of their political affiliation, I truly do believe that people try to be good neighbors.
Right. Right. So
80-90% of them. So be a good neighbor. Wear your mask.
Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Yep.
Get your vaccine as soon as you possibly can. As soon as you're offered the vaccine, my advice, our advice is get it. I'm going to. Waiting on a call. Waiting on a call.
No, I'll probably be waiting a little while. So, all right. We're done for the day.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.
Peace out. See you later.
Have a good one.